Hello guys, I am back with another funny video about the sequel to Gardening Zombie game. Previously, we literally blew up a mummy on steroids, but today, my goal for this video is to conquer the entirety of Egypt in Plants vs Zombies 2. The game now requires us to do intense thinking and select the plants of our choice. I selected lettuce, flowy, an Australian in vegan form, nut, landmine filled with starch, and a frozen cabbage. Then, we finally start day 7. I placed down flowers for solar radiation like usual, and a boomer to deal with that camel. I also placed down a ball of ice and end up with frozen camel. Which is actually a good thing, because it prevents my camel dinner from rotting. I placed down leaf-covered catapults and more Australians. By the way, I had actually just come back from putting a camel in the oven. I will check on it again at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. I placed down more plants and we have now completed day 7. We yet behead another zombie and beat its head open while recording. But since LiveLeak shut down, I posted the video on BestGore instead. We also unlocked the daily calendar, which is a nice reminder to know that every day we live just to suffer while I'm playing a game about botany who are at war with meth heads. Oh, and we also earn rewards every day. Anyways, we move on to day 8, as you can see, the game had automatically selected the iceberg. And there is actually a reason for that. The iceberg plant is very useful, not only because it's capable of sinking a big ship, but because it is a good counter against arsonists. I mean, this one just roasted that nut by calling them fat and then roasted them for real. Fortunately, we can ruin the dreams of those pyromaniacs by freezing them. This level also features dogmen. They spit out bones which create tombstones with text written in Minecraft enchanting table. And then his friend appears, who does exactly the same thing as his friend, especially die. We put down a couple more plants and win. Day 9, here's how you win. First step, flower. Second step, potato boomer. Third step, more flowers. Fourth step, cabbage. Fifth step, nut. 69th step, win. And we unlock a viney thing. Day 10. We slaughter more animals. Then we get an ad for Color Water Sort Woody Puzzle. It looks pretty fun. All you have to do is pour soda into different soda bottles to create some cursed concoction of a beverage. Day 11, for this level, we are required to only use pre-selected plants. This is great news, because now I don't have to spend years thinking of what 6 plants I have to bring out of my 8 total plants that I currently have unlocked. We complete day 11 and move on to... Oh, we got an ad.
So you're telling me that we're about to get scammed?
Day 12, for this level, I win the level by commanding an army of cabbages in order to force feed those junkies something healthy for once. And now the game wants me to download Facebook. Since I'm not a boomer, I close out of the ad and move on to day 13. It looks like somebody spilled slime all over the lawn, but that won't stop me, because I beat the level by using the same exact strat as day 12. We unlock an angry lettuce who looks like they'll beat the crap out of any zombie, including you, and that's exactly what they do. I freeze a dog and collect the things on screen using a pile of vines. Then we unlock the crack house, Zen garden. Day 15, we start with 3 flowers who are apparently endangered, not that it matters, because they will die eventually. We start day 15 and my best move is to place down a tomb tangler. This is getting kind of boring, so how about we talk about camel facts while they're being slaughtered by Australians? The first fact is that they are resilient mammals that have humps and fuzzy coats. The second fact is that they are sometimes called ships of the desert because they can travel smoothly across dry environments. The 37th fact is that they are very funny creatures. The 68th fact is that you can ride them. The 420th fact is that they make for such an outstanding dinner. Also, let me remind you that I am going to check on my camel dinner that I left in the oven at the end of the video, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Wait a second, what were we doing again? Oh right, we were playing Plants vs Memes 2. We protect the flowers and move on to day 16, nothing noteworthy here. Day 17, we are limited to the amount of plants that we're allowed to have at a time. Because of that, we're limited to having a much smaller defense instead of plant hoarding. Oh, it looks like we're at our planting limit. There we go, I finally have enough space to place down a pile of vines. I give weed to the angry lettuce, which causes it to have a seizure and defeat the remaining addicts, and we unlock a plant food boost, which now allows us to permanently smuggle more pot, and we move on to day 18. Speaking of which, I will be right back.
Alright guys, I just got back from doing grass. Also, I had forgotten how to plant fire flowers for this level, and now I can't produce any more solar radiation. But it doesn't matter, because we conveniently start with a bunch of sunlight, which is something that I need to get more of instead of sitting in front of a shiny piece of glass all day. Anyways, I put down a row of catapults, boomerangs, and bunk boys, and they proceed to commit genocide on camels. Day 19, the game has yet again let stupid Steve spill all of this slime on my lawn and gives me less space for plant hoarding. I resorted to spamming bonker choice and watched one of them have a seizure. Then we unlock the angrier and more hairy version of a vegan turret. Day 20 requires us to protect more of these unimportant flowers, but they're still somehow more useful than me. I had decided to bring the hairy shooter and freeze this pyromaniac because he's a little too fast for me to handle. I fed my hairy turrets a little grass and caused it to not only projectile vomit green ball pitfalls, but also spit out a big green ball. Speaking of grass, I gotta go leave again, but I will be right back.
Alright, I'm back. I just did a little more grass and now my voice is back to normal. Do not question how that works. I was just tired of hearing a low-pitched voice coming from this text-to-speech AI. Day 21, we are given flowers from Chernobyl, corn, and a big melon. These conjoined flower twins are useful because they are able to produce twice as much solar radiation and set the world on fire at a much faster rate. This melon launches other melons at mummies, which causes it to split its skull open and die. We can also use corn, which not only launches more corn at those mummy zombies, but also launches butter. We grow a whole entire patch of melons and corn as well as mutated flowers and once again become a plant hoarder. Day 22. Okay, seriously, who keeps letting idiot Steven spill slimy slime all over my front yard? Even though we were just able to hoard plants in the previous level, we once again can't do it in this level because of the plant limit, which ruins my plan of taking over Egypt and even the entire world with vegetation. Wait, you weren't supposed to hear that, we beat up this pharaoh while frozen and win. Day 23, remember that big guy that we kinda destroyed in the last video? Well, he's back and doesn't look too happy about what I did. But I'm not gonna let that stop me, because I used the same early game strat that involves landmines, Titanic sinker, and vine busters, which I used in every other level. I set up my defenses, murder a dog, kill an arsonist before he could kill us first, and, look who's back, Big Mummy on steroids. This time, we murder him by using balls and behead him and beat it open while recording, and since Bestcore shut down, we post the video on Reddit. Day 24, for this level, the game says no to every other plant except for frozen lettuce and ball shooter. All I did to pass this level was to spam peas and freeze a couple of meth heads. That's it. Now, we are about to face the guy who was preventing me from conquering the entirety of Egypt. That's right, we are about to fight Dr. Zombie Megaboss and his Egyptian tarantula. Then he vomits out mummified junkies. Wow, this should be one heck of a fight, especially if we're just using botany against a giant vomiting spider controlled by Megaboss. He stabs the ground a couple times, but my angry turret vomits all over him and gives him a concussion. It also made him blind because he is launching missiles but is clearly missing the targets. And guess what? That mummy on steroids that we murdered twice is back and he's even angrier than ever. And he actually manages to put up a fight for once. His brother goes over to help him and they both beat me up and almost get me killed. Megaboss guy pukes up more zombies on the field, which really overwhelms me at first, but we're saved by Megaboss guy. Then I almost get killed twice by big steroid mummy, but my angry shooter spits on him and gets him killed. We're once again saved by Megaboss Mind, who is finally able to see again and doesn't miss the target for once. He then decides to spawn even more zombies only to immediately murder them. My lettuce bonker has yet another seizure and manages to uppercut him about 6 times in a row. Megaboss's giant pet tarantula has now been brutally executed by my cabbages, angries, Aussies, and bonkers. We have officially conquered the entirety of Egypt and obtained a key with a cool skull on it. This cool skull key is used in order to unlock the next world. It looks like we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed, because I think you can get an idea of what the next video will be. We may have been able to conquer Egypt, but there are still 10 more worlds for me to conquer, so stay tuned to see me complete the rest of the game. Oh, I almost forgot about something. Alright guys, I'm gonna leave to eat this camel. Goodbye. I should also mention that we unlock Ancient Egypt's endless mode, Pyramid of Doom. But I will never play this because I actually know what the sun looks like. And no, it does not look like this, it looks like this.